Sunday from 10 to 2 with $3 mimosas. Game like a local at that Cajun place.
Looking for dependable civil construction in the Florida Panhandle? CBC Construction has you covered. From land clearing and drainage to roads and underground utilities, CBC delivers high-quality work on time and on budget. Locally owned and operated, CBC is trusted by schools, developers, and municipalities. To learn more, call CBC Construction 850-740-3815 or visit cbcconstruction.com. That's cbcconstruction.com.
Are you feeling tired, weak, or maybe you feel old and cranky? If so, I have the answer. It's Max Fit Sports Nutrition with 2 locations, 23rd Street in the Coronado Plaza and in Pier Park North on Back Beach Road. Max Fit Sports Nutrition has nutritional products and professional dietary plans to get you moving in the right direction. So get off that couch and get to Max Fit Sports Nutrition now. Max Fit Sports Nutrition, where you can try it before you buy it.
GSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Fort St. John. Powered by Panama City Toyota, ESPN Northwest Florida. Rise and shine, campers. It's a brand new day.
What a lovely morning.
Good morning, Starshine.
You seem happy this morning.
Morning, everybody. Thanks for coming in early.
The Coach James Hale Show is live and local. Live from the J. Michael Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hot tub, I'm full of water. I say hot tub, very hot. Hot tub, gonna get you hot. I'm gonna make it wet. Yeah. Say hot tub, rubber dub in the hot tub, rubber dub with me. Drink in the hot tub. Yeah. Will it make me sweat? Yeah. Drink in the hot tub. Yeah. Will it make me wet? Yeah. Well.
Welcome to the Coach James Hale Show. Coach is gone. We don't know where he's at. Sitting in for Coach is the very talented, very intelligent, and very on-time coach, Dr. Chad Mitchell, along with Patrick from Turf Pro. So, guys, have some fun. Wear it out. I got some questions. I got questions.
You have
later
questions.
On.
Oh,
I got
wow.
questions later on.
Right.
I made the mistake of watching NFL football over the weekend, so I got questions.
Are we allowed to ask questions? I've been told no for years.
Oh, if Hale's here, I mean, you can ask all kind of questions. See if we can answer it. Again, I'm Dr. Chad Mitchell. We've got Pat in here. Good morning, Pat.
Good morning, Chad.
And obviously, Smitty on the controls back there. Good morning, Smitty.
Good morning, Doctor. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Did y'all have a good weekend?
Go ahead, John.
Yes, I did. I got family down and getting to see my granddaughter and hang out, but trying to keep up with 13-year-old granddaughter.
Oh, man.
Swimming and doing this and that.
Yeah,
and
more energy than you have.
Oh,
like triple the energy.
I'm sore. I'll probably be making an appointment with your office just right after the show.
What about you, Pat?
Oh, we had a good weekend. Took the kids fishing, just kind of hung out, worked on a few things at the house, and sweated.
Then he went out and broke one
was
of
hot.
his
So
boats.
yeah, we don't have to to get in the hot tub to sweat. We just have to go outside.
Sure. I think I was
Will it
outside.
make you
Look out-
wet? Will it
look
make
out
you
the
sweat?
window.
Yes.
Just look out
outside.
the window and I sweat.
Oh, I think it's supposed to be like upper 90s today. Or am I wrong about that? Or do you have a weather report yet? Or
It'll be in the low 90s.
low
93,
90s. Yeah, but
94.
it'll feel
I
like
guess
it's
that's
101,
near
right?
90s. 107.
I just call this time of the year the gym
107.
because you can lose weight and not have to pay for it.
I got you. Yeah.
Sweatbox.
All right. Well, hopefully we've got a good show for you this morning for the next couple of hours. Got a lot of things to talk about. First off, let's talk about a couple of our sponsors. We got Beef O'Brady's in Lynn Haven. You know, college football's coming up. This is a great place to watch games, great food. And David Adamson Designer Jewelry in Lynn Haven. Don't forget about them. And then Dr. John Ward of Dermatology Specialists. So I thought we would get started this morning with local scores since, Coach usually likes to do that. I like that. Had a lot of different texts overnight, just trying to make sure I had most of these scores accurate. It's really not the first game. It's the jamboree type games to start off. Everybody's trying to feel out where they are. The Arnold Marlins, they actually had 3 halves of football that were played. It was Arnold versus Destin, and Arnold versus North Florida Christian, and then North Florida Christian played Destin, obviously, each playing a half. But
we'll be talking with Coach Griffin.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll talk with him in the next segment. So hang on to be able to talk with him. Anyway, Arnold beat North Florida Christian in the that one half, 21-12, and then also beat the Destin Sharks 14-7. So the Marlins are getting off to a good start here. Looks, I was there at the game. Looks like the running and passing looked well. There were some mistakes. A couple of things happened. We can talk to Coach about those kind of things. But overall, I thought the Arnold Marlins looked really good. So then you had the Bay Tornadoes, who played the Niceville Eagles, and it may be called Niceville, but they weren't too nice to Bay.
No.
51-7 is the score I have there. Just to kind of highlight Arnold and Bay, they will be playing each other this week for the first game on Thursday. It's Arnold versus Bay at Tommy Oliver Stadium. So if you're looking for a good local game to go to, that's a good one to start. Again, it's on Thursday, not Friday.
And don't get too discouraged, all of your Bay fans out there, because Niceville's just a powerhouse.
Yeah.
But Niceville does have a new coach this year. So that was his first game. So he had a couple things to prove. He might have overcoached a little bit to prove his
overcompensated
his stature over there.
Yeah. So anyway, they look good by the score. Then you got Rutherford, who actually was in a comeback here at the end, is what I hear. It was Rutherford 30, Freeport 34. So Freeport takes the win. And let's see. Then you had Mosley at South Walton. That was canceled due to the weather. So you've got Mosley versus Rutherford coming up as the first game for both of those here, and that's at Tommy Oliver on Friday. So Thursday night you got Arnold Bay. Friday you've got Mosley Rutherford. 2 great matchups for Tommy Oliver Stadium Thursday and Friday back to back. Bozeman on Friday beat Cottondale 21-20. Bozeman travels to Bonifay to play Holmes County
Bozeman
in their
has
first
a new
game.
coach also.
Yeah. And then you have North Bay Haven. Of course, we had Coach Andy Siegel that had to step down for medical reasons. And Trent Edwards was the interim. He's filling in for Andy. And North Bay Haven goes over to Jacksonville and beats Joshua Christian 19-8. And North Bay Haven's first game is at Freeport this Friday. So that's your very local scores. Also, I'm seeing that the Port St. Joe Tiger Sharks tied Union County Tigers 7-7 in their game, and then it looks like Weewall got beat by Osceola Christian 27-0.
Does it say anything over there about Bluntstown?
I didn't have the Bluntstown score, and the scores were hard to get because these are jamboree games. Correct. So it's not like everybody's wanting to post the score.
I was curious about that because they're supposed to have a really, really good team this year.
Yeah, well, maybe we can get one of our callers to call in if they know the Bluntstown, Mariana, those kind of scores. You can call us at 850-215-6290. Again, this is ESPN 104.3 Northwest Florida. And this is the Coach James Hale Show. And moving on, let's see. We've got Coach Griff here at about, about another 8 minutes, 10 minutes, something like that. I know the coaching poll came out, the AP Top 25, it came out last Monday. It came out, I think, right at the end of the show or somewhere around there.
Came about noon after we had left.
Yeah. And so anyway, it's been very interesting. I've been wanting to talk about this. I'm sure they talked about it last week, but it doesn't hurt to bring it back up and kind of talk about, who's in the top 25. Again, this is preseason. I also had some other predictions that I have here in an article about who they think is going to make it to the national championship game, that kind of thing, what it may look like. And really, it's really your top kind of 10 to 12 teams to start the season. So that's not a far-fetched
they didn't get real crazy on their predictions.
Right. They did. Yeah, they I thought played it kind of conservative. Anyway, it looks like they're thinking Texas is either going to play Penn State or play Clemson. That's one of the articles I read in the national championship game, and so everybody's betting on Texas. It looks like, and that's who's number one. Number one in the AP top 25 and in the coaches poll. And then number two in the AP top 25 is Penn State. In the coaches poll, it's Ohio State. I tend to like this coaches poll a little bit better. And then they flip-flop. Number three in the AP is Ohio State. And number three in the coaches poll is Penn State. So those are flip-flopped in those polls.
So they must be close in stats and things
so
like that.
So who do you think,
to be flipping?
John and Chad, in that top 25 that is really ranked too high? That's ranked higher than what you think they should be?
Meaning where they're going to end up at the end of the season compared to where they are now?
Just kind of, I'm looking at a couple of them.
I think Penn State's too high. I'd like to see them play and see, are they as good as everybody's expecting them to be? I think Notre Dame usually starts out in this position and they fall. They're sitting here at number 6 in the AP poll, number 5 in the coaches poll. Everybody's high on Clemson. So, maybe they're good. I think they have an easier path to the playoffs if they're winning. So maybe they deserve to be in there. Oregon, traditionally there. Then you got Alabama, LSU, and then Miami. I'm not so sure. I think that Miami's going to be a top 10 team, but there's a lot of people that are really high on Miami.
I think Miami may be a little high there, but they've got a decent schedule this year.
All of them are feasible except for I think Penn State is a little overrated. I don't think.
Yeah. Now people behind the scenes are saying they are a loaded team, that they've got the talent.
But we've heard this before. We've been through this song and dance before. Yeah. Wasn't it Oregon last year that everybody was jumping up and down about?
Yeah, and they were pretty good.
They were pretty good.
And
but
so they've got Oregon 7 in both polls, and Alabama 8 in both polls, and LSU 9 in both polls, and Miami 10 in both polls. So
to me, the top 10 is you can flip a coin with a lot of these.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're this is one of those weird years in the top 10, any of those teams could win it.
Yeah.
As I'm looking at it. Once you get out of the top 10, I think it all changes of what's up there.
Well, I saw this article where Chris Doering was really high on South Carolina after visiting there, I guess this weekend or whatever. And, Coach Hale's kind of high on South Carolina. I'm kind of wait and see.
Coach Hale's kind of high.
I think they have a really good team.
We can talk about him while he's gone, right?
Yeah, we can. Love it.
Oh, I think their schedule is going to be their detriment this year. I think they overperformed last year.
We're talking South Carolina.
South Carolina. Yeah. I think they overperformed last year. They had a really good team, really good nucleus, and I think everybody's expecting that same type of output for this year. I don't know if they're the 5th best team in the SEC.
Yeah, I mean it's to be determined. And then they got Florida down here at 15. I really think if DJ Lagway's healthy, I think Florida's going to be better than South Carolina. But what do I know? I mean, you've got people actually, like Chris Doering, others that are actually going to practices and actually seeing some of these teams and seeing some of this talent. But just seeing how DJ Lagway performed last year, and I'm not a Florida fan. Everybody knows I'm an Alabama fan, and I'm looking at Florida and I'm going, okay, they've got the talent, they got the coaching, that kind of thing. I really think Florida's a little lower than I think they're going to be, but we'll see.
I don't think Notre Dame's going anywhere in the top 10 because of schedule.
Mm-hmm.
But the team I think that outside of the top 10 that has a chance to really make a run, and they did it last year, is SMU.
Oh, wow, yeah.
I mean, with their schedule, the ACC is not the most difficult conference. It is a tough conference, but you look at where they're sitting there at 16. If they can go 10-2, where does that put them? Because some of these top 10 teams are going to beat each other up.
Yeah, it's good point. I mean, we'll see. So just to kind of round out this top 25, we talked about South Carolina being at number 13. Then you get Michigan, Florida, SMU, Kansas State, Oklahoma, Texas A&M, Indiana, Ole Miss, Ohio State, Texas Tech, Tennessee, which they're kind of low, and Boise State. So anyway, that rounds out the top 25. Let's talk about some of our sponsors because we've got to move on to a break. El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill. Great music, great food. Check them out. And then also J. Michael's Restaurant, the legendary J. Michael's, best seafood and the coldest beer. And then don't forget about MaxFit Sports Nutrition. Jason Kovaleski. They have 2 locations, 23rd Street and Pier Park. Check them out. You're listening to the Coach James Hale Show on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be right back.
It's here. The 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida app version 2.0. Now featuring ultra high fidelity. You'll feel like you're in the game. Plus more opportunities to win weekly prizes from local businesses when you click it to win it. Download the 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida app today at Google Play or the Apple Store.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Monday morning. As we head into this afternoon and evening, possible thunderstorms and some sun and a high of 90 with a moderate breeze at 14 miles per hour coming out of the southwest. For tonight, clear skies and a low near 79. Tomorrow, possible thunderstorms and a high around 90. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Great design is timeless, and that's why Tracy's Fine Jewelry inside Coin and Bullion Reserves offers a stunning selection of vintage, antique, estate jewelry on sale now at 40% off. Exquisite Victorian rings, Art Deco diamond brooches, Georgian and Art Deco bracelets, earrings, and pendants. These one-of-a-kind pieces add personality to any ensemble, and now at 40% off. Find your timeless treasure at Tracy's Fine Jewelry inside Coin and Bullion Reserves.
Krispy Kreme has a lot going on in August. Top on the agenda is the Crocs collaboration, featuring a limited edition of Krispy Kreme Crocs Classic Clogs. Krispy Kreme is offering a special dozen, featuring 3 fan-favorite donuts inspired by Crocs collaboration. And you can make the start of school a sweet celebration, too, with a trip to Krispy Kreme Donuts in front of HCA Hospital, 23rd Street, Panama City, and on the Ross Clark Circle in Dothan. Krispy Kreme Donuts since 1937, where you get them hot.
The #1 SEC call-in show is now twice as big. It's double the Paul Feinbaum Show. Weeknights starting at 6.
Okay, but also go faster.
Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michael Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we're back. This is the Coach James Hale Show, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. I'm Dr. Chad Mitchell. I've got Patrick Garner here with me, and of course, Smitty running the station here.
Good morning.
Good morning to everyone. And have we got Coach Griff on the phone already? Or
Yes, sir, we did.
Yeah, we're headed to him. This is Coach Griffin, the legendary coach of the Arnold Marlins, and he's got a great record here in this area. And good morning, Coach.
Hey, Doc. Good morning.
Good to hear you. What did you think about the Marlins? I got to see them in action. I thought they looked pretty decent. I think there's some work to be done, but there were some great plays, and looked like the defense at time had some great plays. And your thoughts?
Yeah, I think, there's always work to be done and all that stuff, and I think you had a better view than I did. Friday night, I didn't get to see you there Friday night. They got me on a little vacation from the games due to that, what's going on with the state, and it was a very weird feeling, but, hopefully we'll get that sorted out this week with the appeal, and I can
absolutely
that move on. I could not have been more proud of my guys. I'll tell you, it was really, really an interesting thing having that view and seeing what it looks like. And I could not have been more proud of Josh Wright for taking that job on, and then Mark Stan for running the offense, and all of my assistant coaches and how our players conducted themselves. I'll tell you, sitting back and seeing it from a fan's view, if you will, I was really proud of how those guys took care of business, how they went about it, and how it looked from the vantage point that I had. And I'll tell you, were some big plays, man. Darren Elder was explosive. Will Cotter probably played the best football game that he's played since he's been with me. Defense was playing fast. Always play a little faster, and we're hoping to speed that up a little bit this week. And offensively, got some things we really got to clean up if we're gonna have a chance to play a really tough team this week.
Yeah, so I was impressed. Low injuries. So we didn't have any injuries. We did have some cramps on the other teams that we were tending to. We were covering all three teams out there with the trainers, that kind of thing. So there was some cramping going on, which you expect, this early in the season. And is there anything y'all do to kind of prepare for cramping, that kind of thing? I mean, I know we're always talking hydration, but just curious about your thoughts and your experience over the years, what you try to do with the kids.
Yeah, well, we talk about hydration, but we don't talk, we try to talk about what to drink, not just about, drinking. And we try to steer them on the right things. And we have time frames throughout the week where we're giving them reminders, particularly as we get which on a normal game week, it would be Wednesday. But with this week's game being on a Thursday night, we'll start, with a Tuesday is what we call our window, and then we should start hammering them with, what we want them to drink, when we want them to drink, and how often, and all those things as we move through the week. And again, it's like anything else. It's like designing an offensive play or putting a defensive scheme together. The hydration and the preparation. Trying to get these guys to take care of their bodies. That's another aspect of it, and we try to really stay on top of that. And again, it's not just. It's all of my assistant coaches and all, through our entire program, making sure that we're talking to all our position players and reminding them of the time frame and the things that we'd like them to do to be prepared and to have their bodies in the best shape for Friday night.
Yeah, well, Arnold looked like they were in good shape. I mean, I didn't see any cramping or anything like that. I mean, every little thing that we saw was, more like cuts, scratches, abrasions, typical kind of things like that. But they look like they were in great shape, and with no injuries, I think they're in good shape going into this game against Bay. What do you know about Bay, and what challenges will Bay offer Arnold, here on Thursday night?
Well, they're an incredibly talented football team. I mean, they got a ton of athletes. You look at them on film, and they've got a lot of guys that can hurt you on the offensive side of the ball. When they have the ball in their hands, they got a lot of guys that can make big plays for them, make explosive plays, and trying to limit that is going to be a challenge for us. To try to limit those explosive plays. I think defensively, their defensive line is probably the best defensive line I've seen by them in a long time. We've got to do a good job with our offensive lines of being able to manage that. And then, they're just a very, very talented team. I mean, to have that much talent and that much depth is going to be a challenge for us. Anytime you go up a team that's, on paper, that's just unbelievably gifted with some of the guys that they have, it's going to be a challenge for our guys. And I hope that that we're going to be able to limit some of their athleticism and kind of keep those explosive plays to a minimum, and then give ourselves an opportunity to have a chance this Thursday.
Anything that going on with Arnold that you think is a big positive? I mean, coming out of this this preseason game, if you will, this jamboree type game. Anything that you see as a huge positive that maybe you didn't anticipate that kind of thing? Is there anything like that you want to point out?
Well, yeah, it's, a number of things, with our guys, with the stuff going on with me, it's just been, we want, it was intended to be a distraction. It's been a distraction, from the outside coming in, but that's what we talked to our guys about tuning out the noise, tuning out the nonsense, and staying focused on everybody doing their job. And, that's probably been the brightest part is our kids kind of tuning out the noise, tuning out this, it's not like I committed a dastardly deed. I mean, and in fact, at the time, didn't think I did anything wrong. The state seems to disagree. We'll talk about that on Thursday, but, the outside noise was, and again, even last Friday on this show, T. Kyle was throwing out some stuff that was just inaccurate, beat me up a little bit, but, our guys have tuned all that stuff out. They've not let the distractions get inside of our house. They've stayed focused on the task at hand, and that's the thing, for guys their age, to have things like this going on to potentially be confusing and it can be a distraction, and I think that our guys have done a great job with tuning that out.
Yeah, sounds like it. Yeah, I remember reading a book, by Tony Dungy, and he. In that book, he was talking about, I think, when he took the Tampa Bay job, that he had these players, these professionals, preseason, and he decided to kind of mix things up and give them a challenge so that, any challenges that came up during the season, they'd already be used to, disorder and chaos. He wakes these guys up at 3 a.m. and they drive like 6 hours somewhere else to go practice, and it creates this whole controversy. And he's telling them, "Hey, this is how you learn how to deal with controversy, and this was planned and programmed." I mean, so maybe this will turn out to be something that's a positive for Arnold, that they're learning how to deal with distraction up front, and then any little challenges that come up during the season will be nothing. So. I hope, at least that's my hope.
I hope you're right, Doug. Yeah, I hope you're right. And it certainly wasn't planned on our end.
Right, exactly.
It may have been planned, certainly not by us. But I hope you're right. And I was reading an article about the Giants, Brian Dable, with Jackson Dart. Expecting you to back up. And a lot of times they go into preseason games, they have things lined out. You're going to play this series, this, that, and he's just been throwing him into the scenarios, just throwing him in for a play, just kind of getting used to that kind of stuff. So we talked to our guys. About being, about to be successful, you got to be uncomfortable, and so it's being uncomfortable. I don't think affects our guys as much as it might others. So, I hope that you're correct in that it's going to prepare these guys for any adversity that we face down the road.
Yeah. Anybody? Let's say I hadn't even looked ahead at the schedule. I know you've got Bay this week, and then I don't. Who's next week? Who's the next couple of games coming up? I know you're not focused on those, but. Just kind of curious what's coming up.
No, I'd be lying right to you if I say we were looking past this week. But we do have Providence Christian coming up on the next week out of Dothan. Don't know very much about them. We had a couple people drop us last year, and this one kind of fell in our laps. Looking for some home games. So, and then we got an open week. Last year we weren't open until late in the year. This year we've got a pretty early open week, which will give us a chance to kind of, assess where we're at. Again, this is going to be a big test for us this week, and it'll give us an idea where we're at, if we're where we need to be, or if we got a lot of work to do. And then having the Providence game followed by an open week is going to help us sort of give an opportunity to assess those things, kind of make some improvements or adjustments, and then get prepared for that Week 7 Choctaw game that's coming down the road.
Hey, Coach, this is Patrick with Turf Pro. Quick question, because I haven't looked at it. I know it changes every year just about. Who are your district opponents this year, and what's your feeling as you, at some point, get into the district play? Because that's going to determine getting onto the playoffs and state and all that.
Well, this is a end of a 2-year cycle, so we're still the same as we were a year ago. Okay. We're in there with a incredibly talented, well-coached Choctaw team. Got Fort Walton's got a new head coach. Not sure what they're going to be right now. Waiting to kind of see how they evolve under the new regime over there. And then Rickards has really added some pieces I've heard through the transfers and improved. So between Rickards, Fort Walton, and Choctaw, we've got our work cut out for us this year. Last year we were able to get 2 of those guys, and we weren't ready for what Choctaw was. And hopefully this year we're going to take a little bit of a step forward and give ourselves a better opportunity to compete with some of those better teams.
All right. Well, how much time we got left, John? just about 2 minutes. Anything you want to sum up, Coach? Anything you feel like you want to talk about that we hadn't talked about, or you think we've covered the bases for this week?
There's an awful lot I want to talk about. I promise you.
I know.
No. Our guys are focused. We had a great meeting yesterday. We're going to get in there and go to work. And I'll tell you, there's a great opportunity for us this week to really take another big step forward for the Arnold Marlin program. I'll tell you, I could not be more proud of our program, our boosters. Again, a year ago this year, we were just figuring it out and trying to get this thing, keeping things together with Band-Aids and paper clips. I think our program is on a really incredibly stable foundation. How that translates into wins and losses this year, I'm not sure, but I could not be more proud of our whole organization for how they conducted themselves. And again, in their current situation, just really proud of them.
Yeah,
I think that shows the character, not only yourself, but your team as you go forward with what's happened here in the last week or so and how y'all have handled it so far.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Pride is the word that just keeps coming to mind with my entire organization, my coaches. Again, I'm really proud of what we're building there.
Well, Coach, keep doing what you're doing. We're all proud of you. We're proud of what you've done in Bay County with teams. And, you got a great reputation for building a program, and we're looking forward to see what's going to happen here with the Arnold Marlins. And so, Coach, good talking to you. We're going to take a break and go into the next segment here in a little bit. Let me talk about some of our sponsors. Newbies. 4 locations. And then, Patrick, tell us about Turf Pro.
We're a local company here servicing the locals. We do turf lawn treatments and household pest control treatments. We can keep the bugs out of your house. If you have bugs, we can get rid of them. If you have problems in your yard, we can go out there and take care of that and get your yard looking beautiful and nice and green again. You can call us at our local number at 850-890-5820 or look us up on Facebook at Turf Pro PC.
And I'm Dr. Chad Mitchell with Orthopedic Associates. If you have any injuries, sports injuries, recreational injuries, or you're looking for a knee replacement, shoulder replacement, hip replacement, robotic knee replacement, look me up at chadmitchellmd.com or robotmd.com. You can also reach me at Orthopedic Associates 850-785-4344. You're listening to the Coach James Hale Show. This is ESPN 104.3 Northwest Florida. We'll be right back for the Florida Update.
The next evolution in sports talk radio. We're back! On 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. The Afternoon Underdog.
Hello.
The only live afternoon show in Panama City where you can win fantastic prizes from amazing local businesses every day.
That's right.
4 to 6 weekdays. The Afternoon Underdogs.
It's mayhem.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Golf is a game that should be fun, but to have the most fun, you need to play your best. That's where the experts at Golf Plus come in. Their friendly staff will guide you through the buying process, answer all your questions, and can help with any repairs you need along the way. Golf Plus is your custom fitting, club repair, and golf retail shop. Golf Plus staff is non-commissioned and will work with you to find the best product for your game, just like they've been doing since 1988. Golf Plus in Panama City Beach. Fitting, repair, retail. That's Golf Plus.
Mom and Dad, another school year will soon be here. Students have been dressing in style and comfort for over 50 years shopping that boot store with the widest selections and lowest prices on brand name clothing, boots, and shoes with the friendliest staff. Why shop anyplace else? That boot store, open Tuesday through Thursday, 9 till 5, Friday and Saturday, 9 till 5:30, next to Bill Bird Kia, 15th Street, Panama City. That boot store, where God is good all the time.
Looking for dependable civil construction in the Florida Panhandle? CBC Construction has you covered. From land clearing and drainage to roads and underground utilities, CBC delivers high-quality work on time and on budget. Locally owned and operated, CBC is trusted by schools, developers, and municipalities. To learn more, call CBC Construction 850-740-3815 or visit cbcconstruction.com. That's cbcconstruction.com.
You don't know what his problem is.
Quit calling, we're all hurt.
but it's probably hard to pronounce and untreatable.
That don't feel so good.
The Coach James Hale Show is live and local from the J. Michaels Studio, ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back to the Coach James Hale Show. I'm Dr. Chad Mitchell. I've got Pat Garner here. You're listening to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. And this is the Florida State update. I made a blunder coming out of that last segment. For everybody that knows the show, this is the Florida State update that we're getting into. And can't help but laugh at myself a little bit that, I'm pulling some James Hale things right off the bat, making mistakes. Just roll with it. Just keep moving forward. Anyway, Pat, is there anything on the FSU that you've got? I've got a couple of things I'm going to pull up here to talk about Gus Malzahn and Tommy Castellanos, just looking at their stats. But I just didn't know if there was something, you're an FSU fan, if there's something you think ought to be mentioned.
Two quick things. The dismissal of Hussey last week, I think it's going to be a big deal, bigger than what some people have made it out to be. He played a lot. Very emotional player as he played. I watched some of the FSU games. They were doing some reruns on TV from last year. And watching Castellanos, I watched a lot of that game where he played against Florida State. And just the way he operated their offense at that time, it looked really good. That may have been because he was playing Florida State. But I'm looking forward to this year going. I was looking at things like his play action fakes.
Yeah.
How he held the ball.
Right, how he executes.
How he rolled.
The whole execution.
And it was there.
How he thinks. Yeah.
Now, his deep ball concerned me. He missed, and I didn't realize that I was at the game last year, but watching the replay, he missed 4 or 5 deep balls that should have been touchdowns. A couple of those drives they didn't score. I mean, guy's open and just overthrows him.
You think it was just a little inexperience?
Some guys are not as good throwing the deep ball as they are running.
That's true.
You look. I think what was it? Milroe last year was better at the deep ball than he was throwing underneath the mid. I mean, so that's just a technique. Is what I would say, and timing.
And I think sometimes it's the offense that you're in. And I really think Castellanos, I think this Gus Malzahn style offense, I'm sure it's going to have elements of Norvell in it as well. But I just think this style of offense, it keeps teams off balance, and then it gives him better opportunity. I think he fits the system.
Here's what I saw watching that game, and I watched another Boston College game over the weekend as the ACC network was showing all different types of stuff. I started looking at the linebackers when Boston College was on offense, and the linebackers didn't blitz. They're standing still, waiting to see. They're reacting to whichever way he goes and not proactive coming at it. So
they're playing a spy.
Defense.
Yeah, spot type.
And it just wasn't a spot. I'm talking Florida State at one time was in a 3-4, and all 4 linebackers are standing still. There was another game I was watching. It was a 4-3, and all 3 linebackers stood still for a half a second to a second. That's what you need in getting a guy open early to hit that crossing route, that miss route.
Right. And I think the Gus Malzahn offense creates that because of the option. And the linebacker has to kind of figure it. They're keying off certain things, and they have to worry about that run game. And if they over pursue the quarterback, then that run game burns them. If they're on the running back, the quarterback can burn you. And then, if you come up on both, there's always what I call the Lutzenkircher play where we're optioning, the quarterback takes a step back and throws across the field to a guy that's wide open because nobody sees him coming.
They hit Boston College hit a touchdown. Yeah. But it was the inside tight end on that play that was blocking and then released. He's definitely athletically gifted with his feet.
Yeah.
He's got a strong arm. Have they taught him enough to?
So his career completion percentage is 61.5. He's got 1,366 passing yards and 18 touchdowns. He threw 14 interceptions in 2023, and he threw 5 in 2024. That tells you something that he's getting more experience.
Play the full season.
Yeah, I know, but it just shows you that, hey.
It's the maturity.
Yeah, a little bit of maturity. So I think he's going to fit pretty well in the Gus Malzahn offense. And to me, there's a little bit of an unknown. I'm a Bama fan. Usually FSU's my second favorite team. And usually, I'm a little worried about the Gus Malzahn offense in Castellanos. So we got a caller. Who we got, John?
We got Eddie.
We got Michigan Eddie, the people's caller. What's up, Eddie?
I had it early this morning.
Are you there?
Go Boys, Track City, Arizona, bring outside who's back 10 live like Dre. Hey, what's up, Doc? How you doing, man?
Tell me what you think.
To you.
Yeah, good morning. Tell me what you think about FSU. Any thoughts? Have you kind of followed what's going on with them?
I think Castellanos needs to keep his mouth shut. Alabama doesn't need any more bulletin board material.
Well,
personally,
I think he gave them that early, didn't he? He gave them that several weeks ago. I'm sure they've been playing that over and over and over again.
I mean, he's got to realize he's coming to a school that went 2-10 or whatever they went. I mean, FSU has no place to talk. They need to right the ship, and he needs to be more worried about gelling with his new teammates on and off the field and learning the system and all that to turn that ship around than spewing off his mouth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, that's and especially they're opening up their new renovated stadium too, so it's a big year for FSU. But if FSU doesn't get at least 8 wins, I think Norvell's out and comes back home. Just saying.
Yeah, so, Norvell adds Malzahn, and I'll give you a few stats here. I got some stats on Malzahn that I looked up over the weekend. And in 2024, UCF, points per game is 30.4. You look at 2023, points per game, 31.3. And 2022, 32.9. I realize this is UCF. And in 2021, it's 31.9. But then you've got Auburn, points per game, 25.1 in 2020. 2019 is 33.2. 2018, 30.9. 2017, 33.9. And 2016, 31.2. We could go on and on. You're starting to see a trend there. 30-something points per game. Gus Malzahn usually is having that kind of average. I realize playing in Alabama, it may not be 30 points per game, but there's points being scored. He knows how to get that done. And, usually total offense, his offenses have been ranked pretty high, usually in the past, especially during the national championship season that he had when he was offensive coordinator.
I think the biggest thing going for Florida State going into this game is DeBoer has never coached against a Gus Malzahn offense.
Yeah.
And that defensive coordinator hadn't either. So that's going to be a bigger aspect to it.
You do know the defensive coordinator actually played for Malzahn.
That
has some connection. I know, but it's still you at least have some insight. Yeah. I think that I'm saying advantage Malzahn, but when you have an idea of how things are done, it does help.
Going with what you're saying, I mean, I think the way they play Alabama early, if it's a blowout by Alabama, Norvell's seat gets hot. And then as you look at their schedule, they get 2 cupcakes, and then they've got to go to Virginia. And the very next week, or the next weekend after that, is Miami. He's got to beat Virginia. Is what I'm looking at.
Well, don't count Tony Elliott out. He's my buddy. We went to the Air Force Academy together, actually, before he went to prep school together. And I used to throw route. He's a tight end. He transferred out to Clemson, actually. And I used to throw routes to him. And he used to be my holder when I had aspirations of being the Air Force Academy field goal kicker, which didn't pan out. But anyway, don't coach Tony out. He's an outstanding gentleman and all that. And he'll have his UVA team ready. I think this is like the first year in a long time where UVA hasn't had some kind of incident off the field. Remember a couple years ago they had that shooting and all that.
Oh, yeah.
I think this is the first year where they can actually focus on football and not worry about the extracurriculars, if you will. And Tony's a great dude, man. Yeah.
Yeah,
I know Tony well.
I'm already saying that game. It's a Friday night game at 6 o'clock against Virginia. I think that's a key game for next year for Florida State and Norvell, because if Alabama beats him and then Virginia beats him, you come in the next weekend in Tallahassee and you got Miami, and then you have Pittsburgh the next weekend. Pittsburgh's not going to be a slouch, and Miami is top 10 ranked.
Yeah.
So you could be sitting there with a 2-4 schedule. Realistically, hopefully not. If they're 2-4, if they're 4-2 at that time, I think it bodes well for Norvell. But if they're 2-4,
yeah,
the rumor mills are.
We'll see. It's fast approaching. Well, we've got to move on and take a break. Let's talk about some of our sponsors. It's been really hot outside, and the air conditioners are getting their work over, right? At least mine are. And I'm glad I have used Steverson Air Conditioning. Of course, they're going to be the sponsors of the Alabama Update coming up soon. And we had Newbies that sponsors the FSU Update that we just did. And then let's talk about Steve's Bike Shop. Steve Bertishaw, he's a swimming coach at Mosley. But he's got a business where he sells e-bikes and regular bikes and all those kind of things at Steve's Bike Shop. That's across from Sam's on 23rd Street. And we'll be right back with the Florida Update. You're listening to the Coach James Hale Show, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. I'm tongue-tied.
ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Coach James Hale Show.
Thinking about the kicking game when you were talking about it, and the punter is this guy named Blake Dowd, and his transfer school is Colorado School of Mines.
I got my master's from that, and you were so unbelievable.
I know.
Weekday morning 7 to 9, ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Monday morning. As we head into this afternoon and evening, possible thunderstorms and some sun and a high of 90 with a moderate breeze at 14 miles per hour coming out of the southwest. For tonight, clear skies and a low near 79. Tomorrow, possible thunderstorms and a high around 90. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Your NFL and college football headquarters is Dak Cajun Place. With 27 TVs, you won't miss a play or a game. Score 50-cent wings during live games every Monday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. 50-cent wings. And $5 pitchers during live games only at Dak Cajun Place. LSU and Saints fans, wear your team colors and get free Jell-O shots when LSU or the Saints score. Plus brunch on Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 2 with $3 mimosas. Game like a local at Dak Cajun Place.
With over 65 years of combined experience, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to help you take your collection to the next level. They carry all the new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards and Pokemon. They sell and trade cards and are always looking to buy. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports. It can always be reached at InstantReplaySportsCards.com.
Better buckle up, Buttercup. There are no participation trophies here, just pure sports. The Coach James Hale Show live from the J. Michaels Studios.
Gen Z snowflakes.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back to the Coach James Hale Show. You're listening to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. I got it right that time. I didn't get tongue-tied.
So that was 2. You still got 8 more.
Yeah,
so
listen, it's a good thing I can laugh at myself because I know others are laughing. And, hey, we like to provide comedy on this show. I'm sitting here with Patrick Garner from Turf Pro Pest Control. And do we still have Eddie on the line?
No, he went up.
He hung up.
Went to
All
work.
right. Well, it's good talking to you, Eddie. Hope you're still listening. And for the Gators update, I've been doing this thing every week about the greatest Gators ever by number. And this week we're on numbers 26 through 30. I've actually mentioned one of the guys in this group of numbers, and we'll see if Pat or anybody can figure out who I was talking about. But anyway, number 26 for the Florida Gators, the standout, according to this article, is Jarvis Williams, who was a safety 1984 to 1987. Also considered was Ivory Curry, who was a I think it says kick returner, 1980 to 82, and then Todd Johnson, a safety, 1999 to 2002. That's who is mentioned at number 26. Number 27 is Neil Anderson, a running back from 1982 to 1985, also considered Henry Davis, a cornerback in the 70s, 1974 to 77, and Damian Pierce, a running back, 2018 to 21. That's a more familiar name.
Eddie's back because his daughter goes to Florida. So.
Okay, so he's back on the line.
He's got to chime in now.
All right, so let's see if he can guess who number 28, the greatest player wearing number 28 for the Florida Gators. Can you guess who it is, Eddie? Pretty famous guy here.
28?
28, number 28.
I want to say, is that Fred Taylor?
No, it's Chris Doring. I mentioned him earlier in the show. He's a wide.
I wasn't awake yet.
Yeah, well, hey, neither am I. It's all good. Anyway,
if my memory is correct,
go ahead.
That was Danny Werfel's first touchdown pass too.
Probably
in Kentucky.
They played. Yeah, they played together for sure. 1992 to 1995. Chris Doring. Wide receiver. Now, Chris now does ESPN, SEC Network type work, and I think he gives great commentary. I think this is a really good individual, but he's number 28 for the Florida Gators. I'm sure the Florida faithful are very proud of him and what he's accomplished. Also considered for number 28 were Richard Fain, who was a cornerback, 1987 to 70, Ryan Smith, who was a corner, 2006, Randy Talbot, defensive back, 72 to 74. And then we move on to number 29, Mike Peterson, linebacker, 1995 to 98. Also was considered Trey Smack, who was a place kicker, 2022 to 2024. And then number 30, James Jones, running back, 1980 to 1982. And also considered was Earl Everett, a
James
linebacker.
Jones, he played for the Lions.
Yeah. So, and then other considerations were Earl Everett, linebacker, 2003 to 2006. Anyway, and that's your 26 through 30 greatest Florida players by number. Anyway, any comments on that, Eddie or Patrick?
James Jones played for the Lions.
You said that already.
I thought I cut out. I thought the radio cut out.
We've got an echo, John. Can you fix that echo?
Yeah. It'll replay in the next hour too.
Yeah. Well, there you go. All right. Anyway, got to poke a little fun at you, Eddie. We have a little fun.
Yeah, that's all right.
You're on here often enough. We can do that. I feel like.
Yeah. Well, you went silent there for a little bit, so I don't know if I went on or not. So I had to say it again. Anyway, that was back when the Lions played in the Dome, the Pontiac Silverdome, back in the day.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I went and looked it up. So Doring's number.
Yeah.
And he was the recipient of Danny Werfel's first career touchdown pass.
Awesome.
It was a 28-yarder to Chris Doring, who was a walk-on, against Kentucky, September 11th, 1993, with 3 seconds left in the game.
Wow.
So it was the game winner.
Yeah.
And what a bold story that ended up having for the future between those two. as they just dominated the SEC after that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's great information. Well, speaking of dominating the SEC, I think the next thing we ought to look at in the Florida update is DJ Lagway's numbers. And if you look at the games he started and finished last year, he should be 6-0. That's one of the things that's been talked about. But let's look at his stats here. So his completion percentage, and this is career, but really his stats are 2024, right? I mean, it's just the 1 year. So 59.9 completion percentage, 1,915 yards, 12 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. His longest pass was an 85-yard reception. So what do you think about those numbers and how he's going to stack up this year now that he's got a little bit of experience? I'm high on DJ Lagway. I think if he stays healthy, I think he had a little I think it was a hamstring issue, wasn't it? Or
you guys were talking about Anderson a little bit ago, and Mark, a caller, just called in and he said that Anderson used to play for the Bears, and this guy, Mark, used to play with him at Graceville High School.
Awesome.
Here locally.
Man, so he
we've
just
got
wanted to get
local talent.
That information, or is he still on?
No, he just wanted to drop that off. And
appreciate that. Yeah, appreciate any little input we've got, and especially any local connections that we have to some of these players.
I have an odd take on DJ Lagway.
Okay, go ahead.
And this goes to the overall success of Florida. I think if he has to throw for over 3,000 yards, they lose 4 games.
You think he's going to have some interceptions?
No. They don't have a run game if he's got to throw for 3,000 yards.
Okay. You don't think they can put a team away by controlling the field?
It's not necessarily that. Is they're having to play from behind a lot. And I'm looking at their schedule. He's going to get a lot of yards the first 2 games, but then you go to LSU, Miami, play Texas.
Does he beat LSU?
And that's going to be a tough one because it's at LSU.
Yeah.
And then the next weekend's Miami at Miami. So what I'm saying is, if he can throw for 2,800 yards for the season, they're not solely reliant on his arm. They can depend on the running game. It's a big part of the offense. If he has to throw for over 3,000 yards for them to win games, I think you're going to see what we saw at Miami last year.
I got you. Yeah, I see where you're going with that. Yeah, the only difference that I see is that I think Florida's going to have a good defense. I think that's going to keep them in the games. Well, but I mean, we'll see, right?
I could very easily see Lagway throwing for 2,800 yards and running for another 1,000 himself, plus the running backs running for another 1,500 to 2,000. So the offense is super potent, but it's not one-sided. It's balanced. Yeah. If it's not balanced, I just don't see the defense. Defense is going to be on the field too long.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, Eddie, your comments on that?
I think it's Lagway or bust. That's why we're waiting on Parents' Weekend when they play UT, booking hotel rooms and buying tickets and seeing how they do. I know they open up against Long Island, but if we go down there, I know they got Mississippi State and they got old Rocky Top at home towards the end of the year, so we'll see.
It's kind of putting all your eggs in one basket, isn't it? I mean, come on, people.
Yeah, look what happened when Lagway didn't play last year, Lagway's different, baby. He's a special talent. He's got to stay healthy, and with his arm, he has some shoulder deals, and he was in a walking boot and all that. So I know I just dropped Alexa off at Gainesville last weekend, and the spirits are high down there for this year's football season.
So does that make you a Gator fan now?
Well, my money goes there. My daughter goes there. So
well, I guess that says something. Now, is your NIL money going there?
Enough of my money is going to sororities and all this other stuff. So Florida, but I'll tell you, Florida needs to, for being such a great school academically and athletically, their facilities need a revamp because they're a dump. I mean, their stadium, I was not impressed with the
Tell us how you really feel.
I mean, I'm just telling the truth. It's a dump. I mean, for such a prestigious school. Like, we were at the A&M game last year. It was Emmitt Smith Day. It was 50% sold out, and this is before they really started doing bad, and then before they made their comeback. The sound system's terrible. The parking's terrible. The stadium's run down. The way they do concessions is a joke. I heard they made some improvements this year. But, I mean, for being Florida, I expected better. And it's not Michigan. I'll tell you that much. And I'll be honest with you.
Well, it sounds like Florida needs more of your money to help the facilities here.
Check that check, Eddie.
Well, all depends on if the money goes to the right place, and you got corrupt people, in Tallahassee and who's running the place, Gainesville. Because, they had a debacle there when they hired Santana from Michigan. Look what happened there. So I'm not kind of questioning Florida's leadership at the top and the regions and who's running that school.
Yeah.
Because that was a debacle with the president thing. They hired a new president yet? I don't think they have.
Well, we better move on to some of our sponsors and get into this break. And plus, I'm looking forward to the Bama update. Anyway, it was good talking to you, Eddie. And we're going to move on to the Bama update here coming up soon. Before that, are our listeners looking for a place for local drinks, local food in historic downtown Panama City? How about some crab cakes or oysters? How about the local 115? And then TK Vandy and Roofing and General Contracting. Check out our sponsors that sponsor our show, and we ask you to give them your business. Also, we've got Pat from Turf Pro Pest Control. Pat, tell us a little bit about Turf Pro.
Well, we do household pest control. We can keep the bugs out if you don't have them. You can prevent them from coming in. If you have them inside the house, we can get rid of them. We also do lawn treatments with fertilization, weed control, and insect control. Just give us a call at our local number, 850-890-5820, or Turf Pro PC on Facebook.
All right, and John's got something for us. Go ahead, John.
I just wanted to remind some of our listeners that are great big NFL fans that 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is putting your butt in a seat at the game. Well, what I'm talking about is we're giving away tickets to every single Jacksonville Jaguars home game this season. More details will be coming up a little bit later on how you win the tickets, but keep listening to 104.3 ESPN for details on how your butt can get in a seat at every home Jacksonville Jaguars game coming up.
Awesome. I guess we'll be right back. This is the Coach James Hale Show, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. The Sports Blitz.
The players that were on the sideline when those sign-stealing things, most of them are probably gone. I like it because they're not punishing the kids that are currently there. Most of them were in high school when this was going on. So it's nice to see the NCAA not punishing the kids for something they had absolutely 0% involvement with.
The Sports Blitz. Weekdays 11 to 1. ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Monday morning. As we head into this afternoon and evening, possible thunderstorms and some sun and a high of 90 with a moderate breeze at 14 miles per hour coming out of the southwest. For tonight, clear skies and a low near 79. Tomorrow, possible thunderstorms and a high around 90. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Looking for dependable civil construction in the Florida Panhandle? CBC Construction has you covered. From land clearing and drainage to roads and underground utilities, CBC delivers high-quality work on time and on budget. Locally owned and operated, CBC is trusted by schools, developers, and municipalities. To learn more, call CBC Construction, 850-740-3815, or visit cbcconstruction.com. That's cbcconstruction.com.
GSX Lynn Haven, W Field, Q Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Taco Bell is now on DoorDash in Port St. Joe. That's right, you can enjoy craveable tacos, burritos, and more delivered right to your door. Craving a late-night snack? Taco Bell in Port St. Joe has you covered. Open until 1, 7 days a week. Plus, start your day off with their delicious breakfast menu, available until 10 a.m. Taco Bell, where the craveable comes true. Taco Bell, now on DoorDash, Port St. Joe.
Stay out of his lane and stay off his yard.
Believe me, this man is a menace. He's always drinking, starting fights.
The Coach James Hale Show live from the J. Michael Studios.
Don't turn it off!
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
That's my favorite fight song right there. But turn it up. Absolutely. Yeah. Time to celebrate. We do have a little bit of bad news coming out of Tuscaloosa, and we'll get to that here in a second. But first, let's talk about who sponsors the Alabama Update. If your air conditioning is not performing very well currently, you need someone to look at it. We recommend you call Steverson Air Conditioning. I had them replace one of my units previously. I have 2 units, and it was not working very well. This was a couple of years ago, and they came out, did a fine job, and that thing just, it's working overtime right now, but it's getting the job done.
Yeah, if you're sweating inside your house or your power bill is just skyrocketed right now, like extremely, extremely high, call them because it might not be an efficient air conditioner.
Yep.
They can replace that, and sometimes it can actually save you the cost of the replacement within the first year or two.
So the bad news coming out of Tuscaloosa, Jam Miller, and all the articles were saying he had an upper extremity injury, that he was going to miss games. And, as an orthopedic surgeon, I'm sitting here thinking, okay, what's this injury? And I kept digging and digging and digging. And finally, the news kind of broke, and I guess somebody was more in the know that he had we don't call it a collarbone fracture, but it was a clavicle fracture that he's got. And they operated on him that night. And that's an interesting.
Was that after they discovered it?
Yeah.
It took them that long to discover it? Or
no, I'm sure they got it by x-ray. You get an x-ray, usually you see it. And so likely, I'm going to give you the likely scenario here. They got the x-ray, found out he had a clavicle fracture, and they're looking at, okay, we need to get this fixed ASAP because he's really got 6 weeks from that injury that, in theory, he can get back if it's looking like it's healing and the plate and screws and all that are intact, at the 6-week mark. That 6-week mark is Georgia. And, Jam Miller has the most experience because, we can thank Michigan Eddie for this, but Justice Haynes transferred to Michigan, over the off season. And that's who would be another great back that had experience for Alabama. So behind Jam Miller is Richard Young and Daniel Hill. They combined for 207 rushing yards last year and 3 touchdowns on 48 carries. So, there's great talent there, but just the experience is not quite the same. So
here's a question on that.
Yeah.
Because since you're a doctor and you expert at this, could it have possibly been a green tree fracture up there?
Green tree?
I had one.
Green stick, I think that's what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Which
is a real minute.
Yeah, that's more kids. Kids tend to get the green stick fractures. I hope this is just a simple, transverse break, what others would call a clean break, instead of comminuted. That's the medical term where you have multiple pieces. Most clavicle fractures, they have some comminution to them. So what I think's going on here is they plated it. He's going to be right at 6 weeks for the Georgia game. What they'll do, or what they did, they operated on it, I guess, Saturday night, put plate and screws on it. And this is all speculation, y'all. I have no inside information, didn't take care of this guy. And if I did, I couldn't be saying these things, right? But anyway, I think they're going to put they put plate and screws on it, and they're going to get him a bone stimulator, and then see if he'll be ready for the 6 week mark. And we'll see. A lot of it depends on what that x-ray looks like. If that x-ray at 6 weeks looks like there's no healing, there's going to be a judgment call there as to whether he can play. But, running back, you're taking some big shots to your shoulders. So it's definitely It's definitely a significant injury, and he's missing the FSU game. So it kind of changes the dynamic of that FSU game.
I heard the wall that he hit was in worse shape, though, as he ran through it.
I don't know. I didn't hear about any other injuries, and that defensive line wall, I think, is what got him. So anyway, unless he tumbled, I wasn't there to see the play, so not real sure what got him. But Ty Simpson got named the Alabama starting quarterback, and I thought we would look at some of his numbers. Now, this is a guy who's kind of sat in the background over the last 3 years, to great quarterbacks. He had Bryce Young and, I'm blanking on you mentioned him early. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name. The last year's quarterback for Bama. Anyway.
Yeah, I just did too.
Yeah. So I'm having a senior moment here. But anyway, Ty Simpson is, and it was Jalen Milroe. It took me a minute. Jalen Milroe was really the reason why Ty Simpson was a backup. So now here he is in his junior year. He's from Martin, Tennessee. And his 2024 season stats were 167 yards, 0 TDs, 0 interceptions, and a quarterback rating of 73.0. His overall rating is 112, completion percentage 56.0, passing yards 167, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. So he's really untested is the way I would say this. Usually came up in a backup role. Everybody knows he's got great talent. And when you see him throw at practice, you see him in some of these videos, he definitely knows what he's doing. And I believe he was a former 5-star when he was recruited. So he beat out Keelan Russell and Austin Mack, who are great talents themselves. So there was a 3-way quarterback battle. And now Ty Simpson's at the helm. Your thoughts, Patrick?
I think he's going to play well. This goes back to one of those things that I've always said, though. When you have a quarterback sitting in the back, your second string, you need to play him throughout the year. And not just in a blowout, but if you get in a blowout situation, you need to let him go on the field and run the entire offense, not a run-based only offense.
Right.
Spurrier was one of the best at doing that. And then when his quarterback would leave, the next quarterback stepping up was ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Longer to wait to think about it the day of the game. I think he's going to be fine. I think they're going to depend on the run game a lot more than what a lot of Alabama fans are going to think. And then he can throw the deep ball. That's the scary part. Yeah. He's got 2 receivers.
Yeah,
that if
Ryan Williams.
If it's within 5 yards, they're probably going to catch it.
Right. So do you feel like he fits into the Ryan Grubb offensive style? I mean, we got to see that out at Washington with, DeBoer and Grubb, running a pretty, exciting passing game with the Huskies, that kind of thing. Do you think Ty Simpson fits in that role?
I think they're going to let him fit in this year's role, if that makes any sense. I think the freshman is who
Keelan Russell
is the type of role they're wanting in that. I think Alabama's going to be just fine with Ty Simpson this year. I don't think they're going to.
So you think they're going to kind of fashion the offense more to Ty Simpson?
That's what a great
more
coach
of
is
a
going to
pocket passer. I mean, he can run, but he's not a Jalen Milroe.
Yeah, it's not going to be what you saw last year, and it's not going to be what the future is going to be. I think you'll see more play action this year, more run game, which the Alabama running back getting hurt could affect some of that. But Alabama, what a great position you're in. If Ty Simpson comes out and he just doesn't perform in the game time situation,
you got
2 other quarterbacks you can just step in and go.
Right, and you can prepare them for the upcoming season.
My question, we named Ty Simpson the starter. Who's second string? Who's the guy right behind him? Is it already?
Well, we'll find out.
The young
Ty
kid,
Simpson, if he gets hurt, we'll find out. It's probably, if I had to guess based on experience, I think it's going to be Mac.
Right.
And if you watch, Mac played in a couple of games last year, and I mean, one of those plays, it was a touchdown pass. I mean, Austin Mack's definitely got it. He's, and for Ty Simpson to beat out Austin Mack, that tells me something.
Yes.
Austin was at Washington, so he was going to be the next quarterback in line. But DeBoer left, and he followed DeBoer to Bama. But so Keelan Russell, I think, this may be kind of like Tua was, that they're as the season's going along, they're trying to get him a little bit of experience, get him used to the offense and the play calling, that kind of thing, preparing him for possibly next year, or let's hope he doesn't have to come into a game right this year, but maybe so, and maybe he's a talent to have to be dealt with.
Well, you don't want to throw him to the wolves too early and kill his confidence, but at the same time, if he comes in early in a game, early in the year, and all of a sudden he's, as the young kid says, he's the him, then Ty Simpson's sitting over there watching.
Yep. All right, we got 1 minute, so we're going to move on here to the Auburn update that's upcoming. But before we do that, let's talk about some of our sponsors, especially Taco Bell, especially the one in Port St. Joe. We appreciate their support of this show. And, if you're hungry for some Mexican fast food, Taco Bell is always a great go-to. And then Dat Cajun Place. If you want to watch the games on television and have some great food, check out Dat Cajun Place. And
free Jell-O shots with every LSU.
Well, there you go.
Touchdown.
Yeah, they love LSU.
That's going to be a crazy night, LSU Clemson. But don't forget, Alabama plays on that Saturday also.
All right. Well, I'm Dr. Chad Mitchell with Orthopedic Associates. If you have any injuries or any orthopedic problems, call me, 850-785-4344. You can also look me up at chadmitchellmd.com or robotmd.com. We'll be back with the Auburn update here shortly. You're listening to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Wanted to reach out and smack someone?
Sit your ass down and shut up!
Call or text the Afternoon Underdogs on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida with your rants, hot takes, picks, and takedowns.
This is unacceptable at the University of Alabama!
This should go 7 games. You've got to have a bad game at some point.
The Red 70s studio line, 850-215-6290. ESPN Northwest Florida. Get in the game.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Monday morning. As we head into this afternoon and evening, possible thunderstorms and some sun and a high of 90 with a moderate breeze at 14 miles per hour coming out of the southwest. For tonight, clear skies and a low near 79. Tomorrow, possible thunderstorms and a high around 90. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Take your next adventure in an award-winning Kia from Bill Bird Kia. Discover the new Kia. We invite you to stop by Bill Bird Kia and test drive the new 2025 Kia. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. The 2025 Kia SUV family has movement that inspires. Drive away today in a new 2025 Kia Soul, Seltos, Sportage, Sorrento, or Telluride. Fuel the thrill and command the road in the luxury of a 2025 Kia K5 sedan from Bill Bird Kia. Performance, power, and design built for you. Spark inspiration in the all-electric 2025 EV9. It's a modern masterpiece, fast charging, rugged, and roomy. Bill Bird Kia is the original home for the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by 2435 East 15th Street, Panama City, or anytime at BillBirdKia.PanamaCity.com. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind you can trust. Your local community dealer is Bill Bird Kia.
If you got more A's on your truck than you did in high school, you might be a Bama fan. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
War Eagle. Hey. I don't say that very well, John. I do root for Auburn.
That's all that matters.
As I tell people, my wife loves me when I say that. She is a rabid Auburn Tiger, and she loves her Tigers. She doesn't care what sport they're playing. She likes the Auburn Tigers big time. So let's talk about Auburn, and let's talk about
heavily sedated.
Hey, John, I think you're getting a little feedback on the radio. I don't think he hears me.
That's nothing, man.
Anyway,
That's nothing.
Hey, John.
Get you on the good stuff. Hang on, let me get you in there.
We got a caller. Yeah, just so you know, we could kind of hear your conversation on the air there.
It was Mike, and I just he said he was in the hospital, so I was making sure
in the
he wasn't.
Hospital.
That's what he said, or maybe he's. I don't know. That's why I was asking him if he was heavily sedated or not.
Has he got a collarbone injury?
I don't know.
Anyway, he's on the line.
Yeah.
Mike, what's going on?
Not much. I do have a nagging shoulder separation from the late 80s, but that was from a car wreck at Bluntstown.
So he's
by
wanting
the way,
some
where 20
free
and
advice
70,
from
whatever.
Dr. Mitchell.
Yeah. Well, he can't help because I was not sent to him back then. I should have. But it's helped me get a disability rating at the VA. Anyway, I called to let you know I am alive. I'm suffering from anxiety about the Syracuse-Tennessee game in Atlanta. I don't know why. People tell me we're going to handle them. But one of my nurses here, this is no lie, I'm talking to him, and his older children went to Syracuse, or his brother and sister, I forgot. But he's a basketball fan anyway. Don't worry about it. So what's shaking? There's a big high school matchup in Charlotte at the Mayonnaise Bowl on Friday night. I know y'all be watching Auburn and Baylor, but the Greensboro Grimsley Warriors, led by a Tennessee commit, and Fajan Brandon, who's the number one prospect in the country, I might add, is taking on the bigger West Charlotte team. But that's going to be one of those things, and I know no one listening will go to it. And I probably won't either.
Well, actually, I have a friend that may go to it.
Well, I mean, is that Hey Dad? Can you loan me $1,000? Hey Dad. Coach was asking me about USM and State. What do you think? No comment?
He's talking to you, Pat.
I'm clueless over here.
I was talking to the wrong guy.
From Turf Pro, not Brian
That's
Hackett.
Patrick from Turf Pro. Okay. Let me ask you, what should I set my real motors to if I want a good, smooth, 220 on the... hey, Pat, what kind of equipment
For residential turf, household turf, or commercial turf?
Well, I have my own. I used to have my own putting green, but I lost in the divorce. Anyway, I don't want to go there. But
so, are you really in the hospital?
I am really at the Salisbury VA. I've got some medical and health issues that led me. I was just going to go to the clinic, and I got to my daughter's car. You know, we live separately in Winston-Salem, and I said to her, "Take me to Salisbury because I know Kernersville is going to send me there." Way too much information. I'm just another old guy trying to live the dream, on a pension. Anyway, I love talking about grass, but I don't really want to go there because I usually wind up like, remember Carl? At the blend of fescue and Sensimilia.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all have a great one at the world's most beautiful beach, and it ain't Myrtle. Go Vols. And go Troy. Just Clemson. Bye.
Bye. Mike. It's always funny to talk to him. I hope he's doing good. So Auburn update. Let's talk about Hugh Freeze and his play calling and what's going to be going on for his offense. Now, the concept is called collaborative play calling. What that means is you got more than one coach calling plays, and Hugh Freeze has announced that this is the way Auburn's offense is going to run. And so the Tigers will utilize 3 different play callers. The first will be Derek Nix. He's the offensive coordinator, but he'll only call plays on first down. And the quarterback's coach, Kent Austin, is handling third down, and Hugh Freeze is handling second down. Now, before we get too sideways with this, sometimes the NFL does this a little bit. There are some college teams that do this. They have some rules. Sometimes this works really well. Other times there can be mass confusion if it's not done right. Your take, Pat.
I understand the philosophy of it. Sometimes it's not the best, and that's why it doesn't work all the time. The philosophy of it is you've got one guy concentrating only on first downs, another guy concentrating only on the scenarios of second down, and then one only on the third down. Almost every team does that, but you have an offensive coordinator that makes the final decision. In doing it, what he's talking about, it's kind of hard for the offensive coordinator to strategize to hit them with a play 2 or 3 possessions down the road because they've seen a certain look. Lane Kiffin's famous for that.
Absolutely.
A lot of these great Sarkisian.
Yes.
I'm giving you a look,
right.
and then all of a sudden.
And I'm seeing what you're doing. I'm watching what how that defense responds, and you're leaving this uncovered.
Correct.
Yes.
And that's one of those, we set something up on first down, and then 3 first downs later, we get to 3rd and 4, and we're supposed to do something, but yet we run the fake of it, or we run the opposite or the go pattern on it,
right.
And the guy's wide open. I think that's going to be eliminated in that scenario unless your head coach Freeze is going, no, let's run this.
Yeah.
No, let's run this.
Yeah.
Now, he did mention a comment that he did this last year in a couple games. I would like to know which games he did that in.
I hope it wasn't the Oklahoma game.
That was my first thought. Did you do this at Oklahoma where all you had to do is hand the ball off and the game's over?
Listen, I was at that game and I was highly disappointed. I mean, Auburn should have beat Oklahoma.
But I get the philosophy of it. But in the end, I still think you should have one guy calling every down, but the other guys, their emphasis is only on this down. That I would understand a whole lot more than, no, this guy's calling second down and then another guy's calling third down. I love Lane Kiffin's tweet last week, and he was like, well, who's calling the fourth down plays?
Did he do that?
Yes. I mean, it was like minutes after the press conference, and it's like
awesome.
Well,
and that's typical Lane Kiffin, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's what drives me nuts about Lane Kiffin. And Saban wouldn't let him do it as often as he wanted to do. Now that he's a head coach, he does it all the time. He goes for it on fourth down in his own territory. It is to a fault sometimes that he pulls that, but it is a good point. If you've got a fourth down play, who's calling it?
Is that Hugh Freeze's call now? Here's what I think.
I love that's when they go to that
I think Hugh Freeze
call player
is in a
thing.
position where he's trying to divert as much focus and blame on himself to spread it out throughout the coaching staff so not one individual person can be blamed.
I hope that's not correct. I hope that's not. But now you got me scared.
I'm looking at it from a logical standpoint.
I got you. But I just hope that is not. I hope that's not his intention. I hope that he sees something from these guys that, like, okay, it's Nix is really good at first down plays. I'm hoping that's how he sees it, and and I get where he'd have the quarterback coach calling third down because the quarterback coach knows the quarterback the best.
What do you like?
Right? Constantly working with him, knows how the quarterback fits with the offense. I get some of that. But
now, on a comical standpoint, I listened to a podcast last week. Mm-hmm. This is an hour after he does that. And then he goes, okay, well, we've got the offense situated. Who's calling the plays on defense?
Oh, man! Let's hope it works a lot better than all the jokes about this. And jokes aside, obviously we want the Tigers to be successful. We want to see them start off the season successful against Baylor. And anyway, let's look at some of the numbers from Jackson Arnold. Of course, we have to go back to. To Oklahoma to find those stats, but his passing yardage is 1,421. passing yards with 12 touchdowns. He threw 3 interceptions in 2024 and 3 in 2023. Of course, you know, he hasn't, I don't think he's played a full season, has he? Either.
Well, he did last year, but inside those numbers, those are actually kind of impressive because they didn't have that good of an offense.
I thought he didn't play a full season last year.
Well, he might not have.
Partial. But anyway, you know, I didn't keep up with it.
But I'm looking inside those numbers at Oklahoma, which we thought for years was just a high potent offense. The last couple of years under Venables, it hasn't been.
Yeah.
So those aren't really bad numbers.
Yeah, and so, you know, and word has it that he transferred to Auburn because he wasn't convinced that he had the talent around him, you know, as far as offensive line, backs, receivers, that kind of thing that would make him as successful. And he felt like going to Auburn was going to help him. And Auburn's definitely recruited some wide receivers, and it's yet to be seen
Auburn's
how
got
well
a lot
that's
of
gonna,
talent. But then I go back to the coaches poll. Oklahoma's 18th. Auburn's not in there.
Well, and it's definitely worth talking about. So I feel like Hugh Freeze is on the hot seat already, and with all the jokes about him playing too much golf and, you know, not recruiting enough. I mean, when you hear the Auburn fan base complaining like that, it's obviously got me concerned.
But my biggest concern for Auburn has thrown all their eggs into the Jackson Arnold basket. And if it doesn't work, what do?
Yeah.
Who's the next guy?
Yep.
Because you haven't heard anything about a second string guy at all. It's nothing but him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's yet to be seen. You know, Hugh Freeze got a lot of pressure on him. So let's talk about our sponsor for the Auburn update. It's Beef O'Brady's in Lynn Haven. Great food. Obviously, TVs everywhere that you can watch the games. Also, let's talk about David Adamson Designer Jewelry. John, you got any new updates on
Highway 77. Take your jewelry out there, get it inspected, get it cleaned while you're there. Check out the prices of gold and silver. They're outrageous, and if you need some money, they will buy your gold and silver out there. And if you're interested in buying something for that special somebody or having something designed, one of a kind, I've done it. It's really cool. It's a family heirloom now, and my family can't wait till I die to get it. But they designed it. I drew it up on a piece of paper. They designed it, and it's beautiful. It's a cherished piece, and they'll do that for you too at David Adamson Designer Jewelry, Highway 77 in Lynn Haven.
Have you got something on your skin you're concerned about? Remember, 1 in 5 develop skin cancer. Go see Dr. John Ward of Dermatology Specialists. And you're listening to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, home of the Atlanta Braves.
Keep the game going with ESPN Northwest Florida. Just because you get out of the car doesn't mean the Sports Talk and Live play-by-play have to end. Just say, hey, Alexa, open ESPN Northwest Florida. From Michigan Avenue to the man cave, from the car to the kitchen, we've got you covered. Keep the game going. Hey, Alexa, open ESPN Northwest Florida.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
With over 65 years of combined experience, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to help you take your collection to the next level. They carry all the new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards in Pokemon. They sell and trade cards and are always looking to buy. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports. It can always be reached at InstantReplaySportsCards.com.
Are you feeling tired, weak, or maybe you feel old and cranky? If so, I have the answer. It's Max Fit Sports Nutrition with 2 locations, 23rd Street in the Coronado Plaza and in Pier Park North on Back Beach Road. Max Fit Sports Nutrition has nutritional products and professional dietary plans to get you moving in the right direction. So get off that couch and get to Max Fit Sports Nutrition now. Max Fit Sports Nutrition, where you can try it before you buy it.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The tradition continues.
Lots of force on this one. Hello, Chop House. A 2-run homer.
Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michael Studio.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back to the Coach James Hale Show, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. I'm Dr. Chad Mitchell with Orthopedic Associates. I'm sitting here with Patrick Garner from Turf Pro. And we've got 2 more segments left in the show. I guess we could say we miss Coach Hale, but maybe we're not this morning.
It's gone so often.
And that's our dig. Yeah. We'll leave it at that. No, we do miss him, and we hope he's
not sick or hurt or anything.
He's on vacation.
He's just running around and spending money.
Yeah. Oh, is he? Yeah. Well, tell him I need some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need some.
It'll be awesome. He can buy me something.
Just notice how he's doing it there and not here.
That's interesting. When he's off, he's spending money, but like you take him to lunch, he never reaches for his wallet.
I saw him in J. Michael's last week, and I sent him a text. I said, "Thanks for taking care of the bill." And then the girl handed me my ticket still.
That's because he had a heart attack when he got that text.
And it was gone.
Oh. We like to make fun of him while he's gone, but this is his show. Yes. We may get kicked off next week.
I like to make fun of him when he's here.
I know. And
it's even more fun to see his face go red.
The good thing about Coach Hale is he can laugh at himself. He definitely can do that.
He can dish it out, but he can take it too.
Hey, he comes over, and I'm talking to this gentleman at the bar, and we're having a good conversation. And my wife's with me, and Coach comes over, and he looks at the guy, and he knows him personally, and he's like, "Can you believe this guy?" And he looks at me and he goes, "How in the world does he get a wife that looks like her?" And without missing a beat, the guy Carl sitting there, and he looks at me and he goes, "You're one to talk. Look at your wife."
Yeah, we love Julie.
And I just kind of laughed.
Awesome.
I looked at Coach and I was like, "Coach," I said, "I don't know how you and I were not both the #1 recruited punters in the country." Because we outkicked our coverage way much.
Well, I do have, since we're on the subject of Coach Hale, maybe I'll tell a little story that I tell from time to time.
You usually got some good ones.
Well, and this is my favorite. I've told it before. I'm sure I've told it on the air before, but it's far enough apart that I think some of our listeners have probably not heard this story. But one of my favorite ever Coach James Hale story. He's coaching Arnold. I'm covering the sidelines. I don't even remember what year this was, but their long snapper gets injured, and this is probably game 3 or 4 into the season, and so they haven't got a kid on the varsity that can snap the ball to the holder or to the punter that can do it very effectively. And I think even the starting center was more of ball to quarterback kind of thing, not a good long snapper, true long snapper. So anyway, he goes looking for a long snapper, and he goes down to the JV, and you got freshmen there, whatever, and he tries some people out that want to do it. And this one kid, he's just talented. He can just do it perfect every time, right? And so this is a Friday night. I forget who Arnold was playing, and I show up, and he's telling me, "Oh, man, I found a long snapper this kid's awesome." Says, he's a freshman. He says, "I went." He says, and this is probably mid part of the game where he's already been out there a couple of times. I've actually seen him, and everybody's patting him on the back. He's a true freshman in high school. And he goes over to the kid and he says, "I really appreciate you coming up to varsity to be a long snapper. That, I know we probably pulled you away from all this playing time and time that you had down there with the JV to just, come in for an occasional play to snap the ball. And he says, "Oh, that's okay. That's okay, Coach. I was sitting the bench on JV." Here this kid is sitting on the bench with his talent for long snapping. Nobody knows it yet. He's a freshman, right?
Right.
And, he gets called up to the varsity level, by accident. By accident. Well, really by accident. Yeah, true accident, because the long snapper was injured. And so, anyway, just Coach Hale was floored. Here's this kid sitting the bench, and that's who gets the long snapper job. Anyway, it's a fun story, and it's a good story about just as a kid, persevere, hang in where you are. You're likely to be discovered at some point.
Well, I tell kids all the time when they're playing a sport, I was like, don't so much worry about your playing time immediately. Do the fundamentals, learn the game. Because if you do that and your body catches up with your mental aspect, there's going to be a time when you're going to do something that nobody's expecting. I mean, I watched a kid last year, never played football. He sits there, he picks up the ball. They're running a high-speed, up-tempo during drills and stuff, and this kid picks up the ball and throws it 30 yards sidearmed, flat foot, on a rope. And the coach was like, "Whoa. Come here." And he's like, "Throw it to that guy over there."
Yeah, right.
And it's just a dime drilling it. And he's like, "How far can you throw the ball?" And this kid's in 7th grade. "I don't know. I think we're at a baseball field, and he's at like second base." He goes, "I could throw it over the fence if I want to." And the coach's like, "Let's see how far you can throw it. Back up to the pitcher's mound." And he's hitting the fence. And all of a sudden, he's the quarterback. But he didn't want to play quarterback. But that happens throughout sports, where some kid's sitting there and all of a sudden nobody knows, and he's the superstar.
And sometimes you just don't realize where your talents lie. When I think about myself and my own experience, I wanted to be a quarterback. I didn't have as good an arm. I didn't weigh enough to have enough muscle. I weighed about 156 pounds soaking wet my junior and senior season. And it wasn't because I wasn't lifting and eating. I was eating the house down and lifting and all that. It just didn't seem to matter. But I played strong safety ultimately. And you know what? I thrived there. I was the quarterback for the defense, so to speak. I mean, the secondary at least. And, what a great time that was. And I knew what offensive plays I was looking at as they're developing. I see it developing. I know what play it is. I get there quicker. So there's some things like that in life where sometimes you don't realize where your talent is until you get kind of challenged and pulled out of your comfort zone, and all of a sudden you realize, okay, wait a minute, I'm better suited for this role.
Yeah, an old school terminology for that was a gamer.
Yeah.
You're practicing, you look okay at this position, but then out of necessity, you've got to go over here and you hit it, and it's like the skies open up, there's voices, whoa, and no, it's... And that,
we hadn't got time to talk about it here, but I kind of feel like that's how my career went. I'd never planned on doing orthopedics. And I remember the first time I saw it, we're walking through this OR at UAB, and we're getting kind of an orientation, and I'm looking at the drills, saws, all this stuff going on, and I'm going, man, my whole life I've been using this type of equipment. And it was just like, I felt like I was at home, and you finally get into it and get into training, and you just kind of realize, wait a minute. It's like my life has been kind of set up for this, and I mean, I believe that God does those kind of things, and that, you look back and you see his fingerprints. If you're looking for them, you'll see them. And
sometimes if you're not looking for them, you'll still see them.
Well, that too. Absolutely. But anyway, so, it's a good concept. If one of our listeners is feeling a little bit down and out, don't be. Sometimes, as Coach Hale says, it doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. Sometimes things in life change your direction, and you really find a niche that, where you belong. I thought we would review, since, this is late in the show and we did this at the beginning of the show. I thought we'd go back over our local high school sports and just briefly run over that information really quick because I think we're coming up on a break. How much time we got left, John?
Go ahead. Do your update.
Okay. So anyway, Arnold played basically two halves. They beat North Florida Christian 21-12. And they beat the Destin Sharks 14-7. Their next game is playing Bay at Tommy Oliver this Thursday. And Bay lost to the Niceville Eagles. It's kind of funny saying Niceville when it's 51-7. Not very nice. I'm trying to be funny here. But the Bay Tornadoes, again, play Arnold Thursday night at Tommy Oliver. Mosley and South Walton got canceled due to weather. Rutherford tried to come back against Freeport. Freeport wins 34-30. Mosley plays Rutherford at Tommy Oliver on Friday. You had Bozeman 21, Cottondale 20. Bozeman travels to Bonifay to play Holmes County this week. And then you had North Bay Haven 19, Joshua Christian 8. North Bay Haven plays at Freeport. And again, these scores that we're giving you were jamboree-type games, preseason games, that kind of thing. But it's good to keep up with our local high schools. And with that, I am getting kind of hungry. It's not quite lunchtime or dinner time, but, I'm thinking about El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill. Great music, great food. Check them out. Also, J. Michael's Restaurant, the legendary J. Michael's, best seafood, the coldest beer. And don't forget about Jason Kovaleski with Max Fit Sports Nutrition. They have two locations, 23rd Street and Pier Park. You're listening to the Coach James Hale Show, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. We'll be right back.
You've read the headlines. You've seen the highlights. But how about the unfiltered truth?
Steroid era, you can like it, love it, hate it, whatever. It's Save Baseball.
Since 2017, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida has been the undisputed leader for sports coverage on the Panhandle. If it matters in sports, it matters to us, and it matters to you. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Monday morning. As we head into this afternoon and evening, possible thunderstorms and some sun and a high of 90 with a moderate breeze at 14 miles per hour coming out of the southwest. For tonight, clear skies and a low near 79. Tomorrow, possible thunderstorms and a high around 90. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar, where the locals go for the best boiled seafood around. Crawfish, shrimp, red royals, and everything crabs. Watch almost every sporting event in the country on their huge outdoor jumbotron. Follow them on Facebook to stay up to date on weekly events, live music, and food and beer specials. Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar, your home away from home for sports, good times, and great food. The best boiled seafood. Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar, 320 West, 5th Street, downtown Panama City.
With over 65 years of combined experience, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to help you take your collection to the next level. They carry all the new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards and Pokemon. They sell and trade cards and are always looking to buy. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports. It can always be reached at InstantReplaySportsCards.com.
He's a 10-foot-tall, barrel-chested beast man who showers in vodka and feeds his baby shrimp scampi.
Kind of a big deal.
Please welcome.
Ain't gonna hurt.
Live and local from the J. Michael Studio, the Coach James Hale Show, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
That's a good vibe. That's a good vibe to finish up the
down to the beach.
That's a good vibe for the beach today. For sure, it's going to be hot out there, but the breeze coming off the water sure helps. Welcome back to the Coach James Hale Show. I'm Dr. Chad Mitchell with Orthopedic Associates. I got Patrick Garner here with Turf Pro pest control. And just to mention some of our other sponsors, we got Newbies at 4 locations, Steverson Air Conditioning, and Steve's Bike Shop. Check those out.
And those are all local companies supporting the local community
supporting our
here in Bay
community.
County, just like Chad over here with Orthopedic Associates and ourselves with Turf Pro. Most of these guys that advertise with us are all local and local to our community. So y'all go out and support them.
Absolutely. So I thought we'd look at the top 25. I know this was probably talked about last week a little bit, but I thought specifically, since Texas is ranked number 1 in both polls to start the season, I thought we'd look at Texas's schedule and just kind of talk about it, talk about how difficult or not difficult it may be. I think it's a fairly difficult schedule, and I see where they could get tripped up pretty easily here. So it's not going to be a walk in the park for Texas by any means, and they're facing some pretty good teams. So they start off week 1, and I mean, this is 12 days away, the 30th. They're playing number 3 Ohio State at Ohio State, defending national champions. That's potentially a tough game. I mean, Ohio State has got a lot of talent on that team. I know Texas has got a lot of talent, and I like Steve Sarkisian. The Manning, Arch Manning kid, Arch Manning is going to be at the helm for Texas, and he's got a lot of talent. We're going to see how good he really is up against a very stout Ohio State defense. At least I think it's going to be.
I think it being an 11 o'clock kick helps Texas in that realm. I'm one of those, when you go on the road at night at a 7 o'clock or 6:30, it gives the crowd a little more time to get juiced up.
You don't think they're going to be juiced up at 11
Not as much as they would be at 6:30 at night.
I'd be ready to go.
That depends on what you mean by
juiced up.
Yeah, I guess we need to define that. Yeah. Ohio State juiced up may not be the same as LSU juiced up.
Well, they're in their own realm, LSU is.
Exactly. That's why I brought them up.
But you look at their schedule, as we were talking, they have that tough game. It's early in the season. Even if they lose the game, if they keep it close,
yeah,
they're just fine.
For either teams, they've got to keep this game close to basically survive to the playoff level.
And here's the thing. You look at their schedule, their next really tough game is not till October 4th.
Yeah.
So it's throw everything in on the first game. If you can walk out of there with a win, they're gold.
Yeah.
Because then you get Florida October 4th.
So there's cupcake games are San Jose State, UTEP, and Sam Houston, and then they got Florida,
and they have a week off before Florida.
Yeah, and so they're sitting pretty for that. Florida, I think, will give them a challenge. I think Texas has more talent, but we'll see. I mean, if DJ Lagway's hot, if he's
healthy,
doing what he does, and this game is at Florida, and it's the swamp, it's high humidity. This is not the dry air of Texas. And as we all know, that's a big deal. They haven't determined what time that game's going to be played, but the swamp's a big deal. And Texas going to Florida, they could get tripped up there. That's one of the potential places. They play Oklahoma at home.
That's a 2:30 kick.
Yep. That's already been set. And then they go to Kentucky. I think they're going to beat Kentucky. I think they're going to beat Oklahoma. I think they're going to beat Kentucky. Then they've got... They're at Mississippi State. The Cowbells won't bother them. They'll beat them there. Then they got Vanderbilt. Pavia's back. Do they have enough talent? Does Texas get caught in some close game? Of course, Vanderbilt's traveling to Texas.
I don't think so, because they have an open week the next week. Yeah. Before Georgia.
Yeah.
So it's not like they play Vanderbilt, then Georgia the next Saturday.
Yeah.
So they can focus on Vanderbilt, take care of business, and then 2 weeks to prepare for Georgia.
Yeah. Then they got, obviously, Georgia. They're at Georgia. That's going to be a tough game. I think they get a loss here. I think Kirby can definitely dial up the talent, and this is later in the season when Georgia's had a time to understand themselves, and you're playing at Georgia. You got Texas coming in. That's going to be a big game. Now this is all assuming that Georgia does well, that they don't have problems. But I look forward to that game. That's going to be a big, big game. And then they play Arkansas to follow Georgia, and then of course Texas A&M. And we just don't know how good Texas A&M is. I mean, Elko at A&M. I mean, that guy can coach.
They're going to play physical.
Yeah, and who knows? Who knows how good Texas A&M is? But you could see from this schedule, if they beat Ohio State, they have a chance to stay number one most of the season.
Correct.
But they've got to beat Ohio State to start that. I think Ohio State wants to be number one, obviously. Ohio State proved last year that, hey, you can have more than one loss and, be a national championship in the current playoffs. Yep. And that's what the playoff system's doing. It shows you the best team at the end of the season, kind of regardless of what's taking place. So anyway, that's Texas. Then we got Penn State at number 2. Ohio State's number 3. And I'm reading off the AP poll. Clemson's number 4. Number 5 is Georgia if they stay there. Number 6 is Notre Dame. I'm just not really sure about Notre Dame and should they be there. But, apparently they've got a lot of talent. I'm hearing a lot of rumors that, man, they got talent all over the field. I love their coach. I think he's a great competitor. What do you think about Notre Dame?
I think their schedule is on the weaker side, and they'll be there at the end.
Yeah.
They're going to be in the playoffs.
They're going to win, and they're going to be there. Yeah. Well, let's look at their schedule real quick. Let's see if I can pull that up here.
They play Miami.
Yeah, they play Miami first. Does Miami win that game or Notre Dame? Everybody's, talking hype about Miami. This is their chance to prove it.
To me, that's a coin flip.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be the game that determines whether Miami is worth all this hype.
I agree with you. So, and then Notre Dame's got to, they play Miami, and then they got to turn around and play Mike Elko at Texas A&M, or versus Texas A&M. That's going to be on NBC. It's a night game. Then they've got Purdue, Arkansas, Boise State, North Carolina State, USC, Boston College, Navy, Pitt, Syracuse, and Stanford. Their schedule after Texas A&M doesn't look too bad to me.
That's why I say they're going to be down there at the end.
Yeah. But what if they lose to Miami and Texas A&M to start the season?
Then they're going to run off 10 straight wins.
And still be there.
Well, that's why I just think the schedule. Yeah. If they beat Miami, it wouldn't surprise me at the very end of the year they're not ranked number 1 because of the way the schedule plays out.
Okay.
With all the other teams.
Yeah. Now, since this lack of a tough schedule, does that put them in a bad situation going into the playoffs against teams like Georgia, Texas that have played some?
The playoff committee didn't
games?
make it that last year.
I know.
So on history, I say no.
You say
if they.
I just meant how they perform, not do they make it in.
I mean,
how do they perform
Miami,
when they're in there?
You're an undefeated team, I think, because I don't think Texas A&M is going to beat Notre Dame at Notre Dame.
Okay.
If they lose to Miami, then it kind of changes some things, but they have a week off after Miami to get ready for A&M, which is their next biggest game of the year.
How much time we got left, John?
About a minute and a half.
About a minute and a half. All right. So we probably ought to get to some of our sponsors here and talk about them, give them some love. Let's talk about TK Vandy Roofing and General Contracting. If you need to build something, you need something fixed, consider TK Vandy. Also, Patrick Garner at Turf Pro Pest Control. Tell us a little bit about what you can do for us.
Well, we can keep the house free of bugs. We can get the yard looking back the way you want it to look, so you can spend more time in the pool, on the boat, doing other stuff like that. We're a local company here locally and have been locally. So when you call us, it's a local supporting a local.
And what about that talented Dr. Mitchell guy we hear so much about?
You going to make me talk about myself,
I
am. Yeah, I'm Dr. Chad Mitchell with Orthopedic Associates. Love doing robotic knee replacements, do hip replacements, shoulder replacements, a lot of sports medicine type injuries, that kind of thing. You have any of those kind of problems, call the office, Orthopedic Associates, at 850-785-4600. 4344. You can also look me up at chadmitchellmd.com or robotmd.com. We also want to give a shout out to Taco Bell in Port St. Joe. We appreciate our Port St. Joe listeners, and also want to give a shout out to Dat Cajun Place. Go there to check out the games, especially the LSU games. That Cajun Place. And with that, we are out. You're listening to the Coach James Hale Show, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The afternoon underdogs.
And I don't care about the morning show, the Buckeye Sourpuss boys and all this stuff. They care more about Michigan than they do about the Buckeyes. I could give two craps about the Buckeyes.